Today we're shooting studio portraits with Fujifilm's GFX100 II.
Yeah, give me that over the shoulder. Yeah, head down like that. Look straight forward here.
The GFX100 II is a very special camera because it uses a medium format sensor. These sensors are much bigger than full frame and APS-C, which makes them pretty expensive, but also amazing for photos and for capturing a lot of detail in our portraits.
Okay, do the same thing. Keep holding it there. Head down, yeah, hold that. Oh yeah, these look so good. Look towards like Taha over there. Yeah, hold that.
For this shoot, I decided to book a studio downtown because I wanted to have more control over the lighting and use studio lighting to test out this camera's capabilities and see how much detail this camera can truly capture. So paired up with the GFX, we got the Fujifilm GF55mm f1.7 RWR for those wider shots, which is similar to a 38mm on full frame. We also have the GF110mm f2 RLMWR for those more tighter shots.
If you do any sitting ones like that, angle them this way towards the light. Oh, these look so good. So good. I feel like that would... It'll work. No, I think it'll work.
Is it?
Let's see.
There's a flash, yeah.
When she leans down like that, there's no light on her face. Yeah, it gives us some bounce. Oh, that's clean. Now you gotta give me like a really smiley, happy one.
One thing that's pretty interesting about this camera and medium format in general is that you kind of have a negative crop factor because we're larger than full frame. So that's why this 110mm, even though it says 110, is actually giving us a similar field of view as an 85 or 86mm on full frame. This also goes for depth of field, even though it says f2 or f1.7, these are more equivalent to like f1.6 and f1.3, 1.4 on full frame.
There we go. So good. So good. I won't zoom in.
Oh.
They're super good.
Nice.
Yeah, give me a laughing smile. Holy, look at that shot.
The GFX100 II houses a 102 megapixel medium format sensor, and this sensor allows us to get more bit depth. We're actually shooting these photos at 16-bit uncompressed RAW, and for those of you who don't know, 16-bit is pretty big, able to capture 281 trillion colors, whereas most cameras like my Sony a7 IV can only capture 14-bit uncompressed RAW, which is about 4 trillion colors. So about 277 trillion colors more. It also allows for more dynamic range, a shallower depth of field, and an insanely high resolution image with its 102 megapixel sensor.
Fail here.
Negative flow.
We won't use the negative side, we'll just use a bounce here. Put it here. I'm gonna take one, test one, or like one like this. Yeah, look this way. And then we'll take the same shot. Keep holding. Look how dark that is. And then it's this one here. It's way brighter on this edge here. Unreal.
After snapping my first photo with this camera, I was absolutely amazed at the insane level of detail this camera was capable of. I honestly couldn't help zooming in after every single photo I captured. It just looked so good. Now you might be thinking, why would you ever need to capture this amount of detail? But if you're a professional portrait photographer and you love to do any sort of skin retouching, sometimes it's very hard to retouch when you don't have enough detail. The photos coming out of the GFX's 102 megapixel sensor gives you so much skin texture to work with to get an amazing result when skin retouching.
Go lean your head that way again, how you were, the other way, yeah. Oh my God. Wow. Yeah, that's good.
This 102 megapixel sensor allows you to have your photos blown up and printed and scaled on billboards, but it also gives us a ton of cropping room if you need. Now, if you're wondering about settings, I was mostly shooting everything here at an aperture of f5.6 to f8. This is pretty typical for me when shooting in a studio, mostly because my intention is to get as much in focus and as much detail as possible. Especially when you're not relying on natural light and using studio lighting, it's nice to stop down and get the image we want.
With your other arm, can you, or your hand, hold, yeah, like that. And then twist it even more that way, yeah. That way, yeah.
One thing I did notice very quickly was that shooting at a shutter speed any higher than 1/125, you start to get black bars in your frame, and this is very common when shooting with strobes at higher shutter speeds, but found out that the GFX's maximum flash sync speed is 1/125, which I'm not the biggest fan of. Typically, I like to shoot with shutter speeds of 1/200 for my portraits or higher to ensure I'm not getting any motion blur or movement at all, and I make sure that everything is tacked sharp.
Give me the same thing, like movement, just turn towards the light a little bit, yeah. Let me see. Oh, these are clean. Hold that right there. Perfect. Holy man. Yeah, give me that over the shoulder. Yeah, head down like that. Yeah, bring the middle up even more. That's max for me.
That's
Okay,
it.
we're good.
This thing's now just looking to go a bit on it. But now at least.
Now, I've never really been a viewfinder type of guy because of my glasses, but the viewfinder on the GFX can see so much detail and color that I actually went out of my way to take off my glasses to use it because it was that good.
I did not actually.
Yo, this looks so freaking good.
I hate the cover.
Yo, be very careful, Jan. It's so sketch. And I come up close, hold on. It's this one with the little softbox, you can swap it.
Ooh, all of them.
The 35, they're so good.
They're so cute. I'm gonna go loud.
Now this here, I'm gonna crop it and I'm gonna make it all backdrop. It's gonna look cool.
Overall, this camera was so much fun to shoot with. I don't think I'll ever get over the insane level of detail it can capture, and it makes it so easy to skin retouch these photos later in post. That being said, it's not all fun and games. If you plan to shoot in 16-bit uncompressed RAW like I was, expect to blaze through all your storage. A 16-bit uncompressed RAW file coming out of this sensor averaged about 200 MB per photo, and every 5 photos or so eating about a gigabyte of space. I also noticed over my time shooting with it that it's a slow camera. The overall shooting experience is slower than most cameras. It takes a bit for the camera to turn on, go through the menus, and make adjustments. I personally didn't mind this because it actually helped me slow down and shoot less. Now, that's not to say that you can't shoot burst on this camera, because you can at 8 frames per second, but the overall shooting experience with the camera is just slower than other cameras. This camera has so much, like its 400 megapixel pixel shift mode where it stitches a bunch of photos together. It can shoot 8K 30 video. It has waveforms and vector scopes built right into the camera. There's just so much that this camera has that I wasn't able to go through while doing this shoot. But that's it for this photo shoot with the GFX. I will have a couple more videos on this camera before I have to return it. So make sure to subscribe. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed. And I'll see you in the next one.